Good morning, you guys. I have been having a really long week of my kiddo having some sleep issues with her diagnosis. It's not uncommon, so we're pretty prepared for it, but because it's just me, when she wakes up and is upset or hurting, it means I don't get as much sleep either. And of course, if your kiddo's not feeling great, you're running out there and not sleeping as well as you should either, because you're more focused on them. It's natural, but I might be a little bit special this week, so I apologize for any of the extra quirkiness you guys might be seeing. Actually, I don't apologize for it. You know, this is one of those places and spaces that I'm giving myself permission to just be me. If it wasn't something that people wanted to see, they wouldn't watch the videos. And so I'm gonna just be who I am on camera to the best of my ability. And I hope you guys are okay with it. If you're not, I'm sorry. I'm just a little quirky, but I love giving people permission to just be themselves, and so why wouldn't I do the same for me? Now, the adventure of the day. First, I had some meetings this morning that I got to listen in on, and so one of the easy ways to get some stuff done while participating and really hearing what happens, I'm the type of mentality, neurodivergent if you will, that retains information better when I'm active. So instead of just sitting in a chair listening to meetings or informational discussions, I like to have something to do with my hands. I came into my seed room, worked on watering a ton of my seeds. They desperately needed a drink. And then I'm going to start some of my tomatoes and other seeds, which may seem excessive when you see the clip in just a second of how many seeds I've already started and how many party cups are everywhere. And it's not the end. Now, I know that it looks like an excessive amount, but we talked about the fact that I am giving some of these seeds away. Some of those seedlings will probably not make it. I still have to harden them off, and I have to hopefully transplant them successfully. And that's one of the reasons why I do a little bit more than I think I'll need. I do try not to do an excessive amount because I don't want to waste my seeds in my soil. But I need to give myself that opportunity to still have the particular plant and product that I want for my own garden. And if I happen to have extras, I'm gonna share them because I love the idea of other people getting some of these more unique vegetables and plants and colors and variations. So for one, there's that. Two, I got off the fence. I did decide to go ahead and expand the other half of my backyard garden, and I will have at least 2 rows. I am still on the fence on if that space will allow for 3. I believe it will. And what's nice about that space is although I may not make them as long as the other side, there isn't a hill. So if you've noticed in my images from, or even my recordings from previous videos, the 2 beds that I have already created and mostly filled with soil, they have a little bit of a ledge because I got them to go up to my little back area. I have an extra porch that's outside my area, my room, and it just makes a nice little space for extra plants and chairs. I have my hammock out there for the summertime, although I will probably be changing that because I will be putting more kiddie pools. I will have 3 total for squash and zucchini because they tend to go poof, and I will succession sow them because as they die out, I noticed last year I lost a few quickly because of weather and bugs and other things. And so I learned from that lesson and from many, many wise gardeners that if I, every some odd weeks, go ahead and sow a few more, if I lose them, I have something else and can keep getting the product and the fruit. Now, I'm gonna see how that goes because my zucchini and squash space is limited to those 3 pools. I'm trying not to be excessive with that particular plant and variation, mostly because I'm limited in the space I do have. And also I had other things that I just decided I wanted more. Now, I have a ridiculous amount of tomatoes that I want to grow. I should say a copious amount of variations. I'm actually not going to go through each of them with you. I know I normally do, but I'm going to save it to see what it's like in future videos as I plant them, and even as you see their uppotting. So I will talk about all my variations. I already mentioned my seed to spotlight, and so I thought that would be a great opportunity to show you how the seeds grow and how we're doing without just flicking through each packet. I love doing that, but I wanted to try something a little different. Speaking of trying something a little different, I mentioned my new beds on the other side. It is a common practice to lay down cardboard in your beds to kill any grass and to help suppress roots of weeds and other things you may not want, and then put the soil on top. I did it with the other two beds. I've never had any problem with it. I don't think it's a bad practice at all. One thing I found, I needed to protect the seedlings and plants that I put out there for my brassicas. We mentioned that my dogs were running through the beds, and apparently so is my 2-year-old when she goes out there. I need to put cages up in between them. I don't want to put the full trellis yet because I want to finish figuring out all of my bed arrangement before I buy them. Trying again to be responsible. But when I tried to poke in my old tomato cages, which once the plant's strong and healthy and big, I'll remove, I couldn't poke through some of the cardboard because it was too fresh and hadn't been wet enough and had disintegrated. So that got me thinking, with my new beds that I have coming out, I still want to suppress the weeds. I still like the extra breakdown and decomposition that comes from adding the cardboard and other things. And I thought of an idea. Earlier this last year, I purchased a small electric wood chipper, mostly because I get a ton of branches that fall from my trees, and it just seemed so wasteful as a gardener to throw them in a trash bag to have them hauled off. And so I purchased this wood chipper, and I try not to buy excessively. It just seems to be a habit of mine now, and I'm trying to reel it in. But as I decided to rip out my shrubs, and I purchased this particular wood chipper, not because it would do massive jobs. It's not meant to be a professional grade, I'm gonna go chop down some trees. I'm taking down shrubs, I'm not taking down trees. I thought about it and looked into the information, and there is no reason, none whatsoever, that it can't wood chip cardboard. Literally, no reason. It would actually probably be easy. Now, it may technically help dull the blades, but I'm gonna try it anyways. Because if I can take cardboard and wood chips and just layer a couple inches, 3, 4, 5 inches if I can, through those beds, and then put my soil on top, how good could it be for us? And would it be easier to put my cattle panels in and my trellises? Would it make a big difference to the weeds? I'm gonna experiment. I have one side of the garden that has the old-fashioned way of just laying out the cardboard and putting the soil on top of it. And then I'll have this side that has my new attempt. So stay tuned, and I will, as I get the beds, this should be in next week, I'll build them out and throw in some video of me wood chipping all of my branches and cardboard. I've been saving cardboard that has less stuff on it, less print, and taking off the tape so that I can attempt to do this. And I do have to go through more soil. I'm running out of my mix that I created, and I have a lot of uppotting still to do, and I have more seeds that I'm sowing. So I do have to get to work on building more soil. You've already seen the video. There's no need to give you more of that, but I want to show you guys my morning of some of my solo cups, and I'm going to take you for a walk outside, and we're going to chat about some of my new plans and how I'm using the plot of land I have, hopefully to its fullest. If not this year, then in future years. So let's go have some fun. It's a bit chilly outside and I probably should have put on a coat, but I'm gonna try to do this pretty quick just so I can get back where it's warm, and plus I don't want this video to be 3 days long. So let's see what I got. So this is the bed I told you about. I want to say it might actually be closer to 5 feet wide. I think I was off a little bit. And probably closer to 12 feet long. I'm really bad at that. As you can see, I've been cutting up the shrubs. And then along this side of my house, say hi, Mr. Frog and Turtle. These shrubs have got to go too. I don't hate them as much as the other, but they're still just mosquito's favorite place. I am going to leave that little tree for now though. He isn't causing me any harm, so why not? That little bush tree. So I think for this space here, I'm really toying with the idea of turning this into the blueberry bush area. I have 3 blueberry bushes and 3 raspberry. And so I thought, because this still gets good sprinkler area for the most part, this could be a good place for them. And then the others, just kind of have them wrap around this corner over here. That shrub, I haven't decided if I'm going to get rid of it. And then the Texas sage, I'm just going to clean up and make pretty. The other side of the house needs something, but I don't know what yet. So then I have all this wooded area here on the side to work with, this center area, and then this side of the house here. So that's pretty massive space if you think about it. I think this side is going to be the first after the shrubs and bushes over here that I get rid of. If you can't tell, in that little corner, let's see if I can zoom in. Probably not enough. Okay, so if you can see, let's see if I can point it. That little, oh, that's a terrible angle, but that little area right there, that's actually asparagus. I don't know, I don't know who put the asparagus there. I don't know how long the asparagus has been there, but that's a little asparagus patch. So I have some bricks and I'm going to clean up that area and put out, there's a bunch of vines that I hate because snakes can hide in there, but I'm going to turn that into an actual asparagus patch. So that's the current plan. I'm not one for killing things that are useful and good, and I know some people are going to be looking at me ripping out the shrubs and thinking I'm completely insane. But it's space I could be using to grow food. And so in the end, it comes back to what's your goal? The shrub does provide some protection from erosion, and it's aesthetically pleasing for those who like that kind of thing. But for someone who's trying to be more sustainable and grow as much food as possible, it's wasted growing space. And I don't have a lot of growing space to waste. So I'm going to cut back to my adventures. I hope you guys had fun today, and I'll talk to you soon. See you next time. Y'all take care now. Bye. So y'all ready to see real life gardener problems for starting seeds? I will be starting my seeds for like my tomatoes, okra, some more flowers and some things, ground cherries today, because I really had hoped to start them on Valentine's Day, and well, y'all saw that video. But I no longer have a seat to sit in while I start my seeds because oops. Shortly followed by oops. Now, in my defense, I had to do that. One, they were getting bigger and they needed more space. They were gonna die. They were gonna die if I didn't pot them all and water them. And I need my rack for starting all my new seeds because it's my seed starting rack. But that means I'm gonna be sitting on the floor while I do all of this. Now, before anyone goes, hey Kristen, if you're gonna start all those new seeds, you're really gonna run out of space. I actually have folding tables that I am getting back this next week that I'm gonna put along the walls with some more of my grow lights that I have. So this whole space will look totally different next week. I can't wait to show you. I'm gonna laugh at myself. I know, it's gonna look great. I got some cleanup to do in here too. It's become the catch-all and it's not a good look. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and start these seeds. I just laughed and had to let you guys see what kind of adventure I'm on. Let's go ahead and get going.